What's up, collectors? Welcome back to Films by Color. Welcome back to another live stream. This is going to be a little different than what we've been doing the last couple weeks. This is not going to be an episode going over all the new releases because I took a look at the new releases this morning and there's like nothing at all. It was like such a tiny week. There's like a really cool Criterion release coming out, but pretty much nothing else I had anything to say about. So we're just gonna talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I got some cool things for my birthday today from mostly from Grace, but also some stuff that I bought with some Christmas money that I haven't showed you guys yet. And I don't know. I just it's my birthday. I wanted to talk about some movies. Everyone else in my house is asleep, so I was gonna hop on and chat with you guys, and we'll just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. We can look at some of the things I got for my birthday, or we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. We're just gonna do a good old-fashioned random Q&A live stream tonight. So hope you guys are up for that. Thank you guys, all of you guys who are in the chat. Thanks for all the birthday wishes. We've got Connor Nielsen here in the chat. Good to see you. Evil Wax 73, X Bowden, Dan's Den. I see you changed your name, Daniverse. Dan's Den, I like it. It's alliterative and it rolls right off the tongue. Code's here. Sam Fett is here. A lot of people here. A lot of people wishing some birthday wishes in the chat before we started. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it tonight, but thank you so much. Ethan, as always, happy 50th. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It is January 22nd, and I was born this day, 1992, which makes me 32, for those of you who are keeping track. So, yeah, that's what I was doing today. Just came upstairs. I was downstairs with Grace, and we watched Across the Spider-Verse again, because Grace got me this beautiful wheat collection. Is it wheat collection? Is it WEET collection? I don't know what it is. It's from Korea, and it's a beautiful luxury label that puts out these incredible, look at that. Look at that. I don't even know if, oh, it is showing up on camera. Lenticular on the front, crazy spot gloss on the back with $20.99, and there's a steelbook underneath. Look at that. Really awesome looking steelbook underneath too. Just opened this. Like I said, we literally just watched it, so I haven't looked at the stuff yet. The cards are still in there sealed. I haven't opened those yet, but this is awesome. Thank you so much, Grace, for that. She got me a bunch of cool gifts. She's always paying attention to things that I want, so thank you for being a good wife and paying attention to my dorky hobby, Grace. Let's see what people are saying here in the chat. It's mostly just happy birthday so far. Hopefully we get some questions here in a second, but I do appreciate all the birthday wishes. And let me know what you guys are up to, what you've been doing lately. We've been catching up on Oscar movies. Took a break from that to watch an old favorite, just kind of kicking back on my birthday. We haven't watched any. We went out of town for my birthday for the weekend. We were staying in a cabin in the mountains, so I haven't seen any new movies in a while. But before that, we had been catching up on the Oscar movies. We watched, of course, I'm never going to remember all of them, the names of them while I'm on camera, because my brain completely farts whenever I'm on camera. American Fiction, that's what we watched. So we watched American Fiction, and in the same day we also watched May December when we got home. Loved both of those. Those are two of my favorites of the year. So we are finally catching up. We still have to see Society of the Snow and Zone of Interest. Those are the two big ones that are in, Oscar contenders that we need to see. Let's see who we got. Oh, Laren's here. Welcome. Hey DJ, happy birthday, dude. Thank you. Ryan Morgan's here. Oof. Rose Salave? Ooh, you're gonna have to tell me how to say your name. Bailey Welsh is here. Thank you so much. Evil Wax 73. You could probably just talk about any recent movies that you've liked. Well, I will. I'll do a little bit of that. I was getting into that, but I'll get back to it here in a second. And internet users here. Kevin House. Now our freezing rain isn't supposed to start until midnight, so the power is still on, and I'm glad to be here. Well, I'm glad you're doing okay, man. Like I said, we were out of town all weekend, and I thought for sure we were gonna come home to like a burst pipe, and there was going to be water flooded all over the house. I was terrified, but luckily we got back. Nothing was broken. Everything was good, even though it did get super cold here, even here in Georgia. Laren says we're both 1992 babies. Heck yeah, man. That's 90s babies is the way to go. Brand Tar, hey, haven't seen you in a while. Awesome. Happy birthday, DJ. Hope all is well. I'm doing as well as I can ask for, man. Jeffrey Patron, happy birthday. No. I still don't know the words to that song. What's your favorite film from 1992? Mine is Rebels of the Neon God. I have not seen nearly enough. That's like a running joke on this channel that I haven't seen any films from my birth year. So I think I gotta go with Oh, and I'm blanking on the name right now. It's a Criterion film by Robert Altman, and it is a really meta film about the film industry. What is it called? It's got the noose on the front. It's got like a really cool poster. Dang it, I can't remember what it's called right now. But that's it. And you Criterion fans, you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure someone will say it in the chat, and I'll mention it here in a second. What is it called? Dang it. Let's see. Evil Wax Spider-Verse looks pretty cool. It is amazing. This is a 4K. It looked so good in 4K. I was loving it downstairs. Very happy. I really like that movie. I don't like it as much as the first. There's a couple. I wish I could get a cut. I wish I could get a cut of this film without all of the dumb references and goofy stuff that completely takes me out every few scenes. Without all that stuff, it would be so good. A perfect cut of that movie. If there was just that big scene where there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Spider-Man, doesn't make any sense, and it like completely breaks the movie if you think about it too much. Like if that scene just had like 10 Spider-Man there, it would fix so many of my problems with that movie. But I get it. You got to have the references for people, but it's kind of annoying. Dan's Den, still need to see American Fiction and Zone of Interest. They're coming to my theater soon. I highly recommend American Fiction. Really, really love that one. Let's see. I have my top list going here. Let me see. Let me pull up my Letterboxd. Where's my top 2023 movies? Yeah. American Fiction's at number 6 right now. My favorite film from last year so far. It was Poor Things with Anatomy of a Fall right behind it. Anatomy of a Fall was amazing. That one blew us away. Really liked that one. And Holdovers, May, December, American Fiction, all those are up there. A lot of good movies last year. I don't think it's quite as strong as the year before for me, or at least for me personally, for what I'm interested in, but there's some good ones right coming in at the end that I finally am catching up on. Not this one. Let's see. Rose Salavi, May, December, definitely one of my favorites of the year for sure. Yeah, it surprised me, man. I wasn't looking forward to that one for some reason. I don't know if it was just the buzz that I was hearing from people, or at least the people in my circles. But it was really, really good. I don't know if we had a great time watching it, but it is kind of a comedy. Kevin House, I was going to see Poor Things today, but the weather forecast didn't sound very good. I hope to see it Wednesday. Oh, do see it, man. It's great. It's really good. What are your thoughts on the April Criterion releases? Oh, yes, that's something I can talk about, because we were going to shoot a video for that. And I don't know, I don't like just making videos just to make videos. I feel like I didn't really have too much to add to the conversation. I mean, Daisuke and Elliot already put up their videos, and I didn't want to just slap a video up for no reason. But let me pull those up real quick. So, Shot the Collection, coming soon. So yeah, the two big ones I was most excited about. I know a lot of people are excited for Dogfight and Lahane, but the two I was most excited about are I Am Cuba, which is from the same director as The Cranes Are Flying, which I picked up in the last Criterion sale because a lot of you guys in the comments were telling me that I gotta watch it, and I've been meaning to see more Russian films, so I'm really glad that is in the collection now. And then the other one from Bellatar, I'm very excited about. Not only does it sound like a movie that is kind of tailor-made for me with the synopsis, but I just want to see more films by that director, because I am going to see, I think I mentioned this last week, I'm going to see his big epic 7-hour masterpiece this Saturday at the Plaza Theater. So that is I'm going to just dive headfirst in with his masterpiece, but I'd like to see more of his films. I'm going to go see that with John this Saturday, and I think I can't remember who else is coming, but that's Satan Tango, and I don't know exactly how to say it. I've watched several videos on it now, and people always say it differently. I've heard someone say Satan Tango, and then I've heard Satan Tango. So I'm going to watch that, the 4K restoration, this Saturday with two intermissions. It's going to be an all-day affair, so that's going to be crazy. So I'm very excited that Criterion is putting out another one of his films, Werkmeister Harmonies, because I'm going to dive headfirst into his stuff, because he sounds like a fascinating character, and I haven't seen any of his films yet. So those are the two I'm most excited about. Obviously, there's mixed things about the 4K restoration of Picnic at Hanging Rock. I already have the Blu-ray of that, so I don't know. If I do get a 4K version of that, I'll probably get the second sight version, just because I'm a big packaging guy, and it's got, beautiful, gorgeous packaging. So I don't know if I'll be picking up the 4K of that. But those two, I Am Cuba and Werkmeister Harmonies, are the two I'm going to be picking up as soon as I can, because I'm very excited about those two. Let's see. Let's try to get back. Whew, a lot of people here tonight. Thanks, guys. Explode Zone of Interest is incredible. Would also recommend All of Us Strangers. It's my favorite film of the year. Yes, I've also heard a ton of things. I think All of Us Strangers like cleaned up at BAFTAs. I was looking through those and it was like coming up over and over again. So we do want to see that one too. Thanks for the reminder on that one. Let's see. People talking about bad weather in Portland as well. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's crazy how like the whole country is like getting freezing weather at the same time. Speaking of May December from Jeffrey, have you seen much of Todd Haynes' filmography before? Big fan of Velvet Goldmine, a decidedly different movie. No, I haven't. He actually, I'm sure I've seen some of his stuff, but I haven't seen enough of his big ones. I know Carol was one that people always tell me to watch, especially because I like Christmas movies. So I was actually meaning to get to that one this year and I didn't get to. So I want to check that one out. This one definitely got me more excited to check out more of his stuff because I really liked May December, and I don't think I've seen anything like it. I'm sure there is stuff that's similar, but a kind of weird, melodramatic, super dark style was very appealing to me. I liked it quite a bit. Paul Smith, have you seen The Holdovers? Yes, we watched The Holdovers a few weeks ago now. That's another big one. That's also in my top 5. I liked that one a ton. Grace liked it even more than I did. I think that's like top 3 for her. Had a little more similarities to stuff she's gone through, but I loved it. And we watched Sidekicks right after it because I just had a hankering to watch Sidekicks again because that movie got me so excited. And so we watched Sidekicks a few days ago, and that's such a great movie. I haven't gone to that in forever. I think I might like Sidekicks more still. I don't know. There's something about the super indie quality of Sidekicks. I keep saying Sidekicks. Totally different movie. Sideways. people are probably thinking I'm nuts. Sidekicks, also a great movie if you... I don't know what you have to do to make that a great movie, but it's not a great movie, but I used to watch it all the time as a kid. That's a Chuck Norris movie. That's a Karate Kid ripoff with Chuck Norris and a kid with asthma and also like schizophrenia or something. I don't know. He's got super intense daydreams. But no, Sideways is a great movie, and that's what I was talking about the whole time. Yes, The Player. Everyone's saying it now. The Player is what I was talking about. That's my favorite film from 1992, but I've got a lot more to see, so don't quote me on that yet. Still a work in progress. Let's see. Everyone's just saying The Player now. Let's see. Oh, Dan's Den says Aladdin is his favorite film from that year. Yeah, man, I loved that as a kid. It doesn't suit me as an adult. I don't like it as much anymore, which is sad. It breaks my heart because that was one of my favorites as a kid. Ben Loves Movies is here. Hey, have to run, but just wanted to drop in and say happy birthday. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. You guys are the best. Dan says Oscar nominations are tomorrow, by the way. Yes, Grace just told me that while we were downstairs watching the movie, which is crazy that they're already here. So that means, when are the Oscars? Is it like a month away? Because we have we have a little bit more catching up to do. We're a lot better off than we were a couple weeks ago. We had seen nothing a couple weeks ago, but now we're doing pretty good. Brantar, have you ever seen One Missed Call trilogy? I found the Arrow Blu-ray with the slipcover at Second and Charles for $17. Dude, nice find, man. Second and Charles can be great, but most of the time they suck, or at least the one by me. They usually have like 2 Criterions, or just a couple, or none sometimes. But sometimes you can get good deals, and sometimes they are charging like ridiculous prices, especially the stuff like in the glass cabinets. Like they'll have like a Marvel Legend figure for like $80. It's crazy. But I'm glad you found a good thing. I found some cool things there sometimes. I found one of the Martin Scorsese World Cinema Projects, the first one, for like $20. So that was pretty cool. But no, I have not seen that trilogy. I haven't even heard of it. I need to check that out. Let's see. Beau is Afraid. May, December, and Poor Things are my faves. I need to see Beau is Afraid. I was kind of turned off to it because some of my close friends told me it was terrible. But I'm hearing good things, and some people who like really know my tastes are saying that I specifically would probably like that one. That's John from the channel. You guys know him. He's like, have you seen that? Because you might like that. So that one could go either way. I think I could really like that. That's it seems kind of similar to something like it's like an Odyssey, like a weird fantasy Odyssey thing. So I don't know. I do want to check that one out. We've been trying to knock out the ones that are like, potential Oscar noms, but I don't want to just do that. That's lame. There's other movies that I need to check out from this year. Bailey Walsh, I can do a top 3 of 1992. Bram Stoker's Dracula, Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me, and Betty from Cloud Chabrol. Interesting. Yeah, Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me. That's a huge one that I still haven't seen. I don't want to start with that one, but I do want to get into to David Lynch here pretty soon. Ethan says The Player is great. Unforgiven, Reservoir Dogs, Under Siege is surprisingly good. I know there's a lot of 92 films that I need to catch up on. And then Kevin House also says Unforgiven. Let's see. Ryan, I Am Cuba is another incredible one. And this chat just jumped up and I lost it. Oh, is another incredible one from him. And let's see. Evil says, I just watched Beau is Afraid. It was like witnessing someone having a panic attack with an acid trip. Yeah, right? That's kind of like After Hours. Like, I liked After Hours. So I like that kind of stuff. Grace will not like it because Grace actually has panic attacks and anxiety. So that would probably induce one. So I'm not going to watch that one with her. But Evil says he did love every minute of it. X-Mode and OMG Satantango in theaters would be insane. You're a lucky man. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. That's basically why I did it. I mean, obviously, I'm sure the movie is great, but just for the experience of doing that all day in a theater is going to be crazy. And then Rose says, I'm super jealous. You get to see it. Wish they were playing it in my city. Fingers crossed Criterion releases it. That would be a cool release. That would really be that. They should. Well, maybe there's more hope because they just did. Do they have any other of his films, or is this his first film that they're doing in April? I need to look and see if they have any other of his films in the collection. Scott Bullock. Letter Never Sent is also amazing. Same director of The Cranes Are Flying and I Am Cuba. I need to add that to the list as well. Bailey Walsh, I'm so excited for Dogfight. River Phoenix is a favorite actor of mine, and it's my personal favorite film of his. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad they're putting that out for you. That's really cool when you get like a special release of one of your favorite films. Ryan says Damnation is a great Bellatar film to dive into after, and it's a lot shorter as well. Well, anything is compared to that 7 hour. It's 7 hours and 20 minutes, so it's not quite 7.5 hours, but it's pretty close. Dan's Den says All of Us Strangers is British. Makes sense. It would clean up at the BAFTAs. Yeah. There was a lot of British actors that got. I think they nominated the guy from Saltburn, which was pretty crazy. Grace did watch Saltburn. I didn't watch Saltburn with her. I was actually out of the house for like a work thing, but she watched that one with a friend, and she said it was pretty crazy, but she liked it. She keeps thinking about it. She's been thinking about it for like a week now. X-Bowden, are there any updates on a Films by Color Discord? No, not yet, but I do need to get onto that because it would be nice to be able to chat with you guys on a daily basis instead of only once a week, because we're growing now and these streams are getting a lot of comments and I'm having trouble keeping up. I need some kind of moderator or something. Maybe I'll get Grace on one of these days. We've talked about it, but she's been having to go to bed early because she has to get up like 5:30 for her job because she works in the city. Kevin House says Carol is quite good. I've heard that. I really need to check that out. Connor, friend of the channel, his twin brother, just watched that this year and liked it quite a bit. And I need to finally get on that. Let's see. Rose says Beau's Afraid is a compelling psychosexual portrait. So glad A24 let Ari Aster take those artistic risks. Such as inspiring, disturbing, and hilarious film. Patty Lupone kills it literally. I know, man. See, I mean, I'm glad he's getting to make the movies. I know his movies are not for everyone. His movies don't sound like they're for very many people, but I'm glad they're letting him do like whatever he wants to do, because it sounds like he's getting a lot of trauma off of his chest. Henry LaPierre, hey, welcome. Picnic, the second site, also includes the theatrical version. Does the recently announced Criterion? I don't know. I didn't hear about that. I don't know if they are including both versions. I actually didn't even know that there was multiple versions of that film. Ethan says Carol's good and sexy as well. Well, that's always a bonus. Dan's Dan Far From Heaven is also a melodrama, but more in the vein of Douglas Sirk. Yes, so we talked about that movie on our top 10 fall films. John brought that up because it's a remake of the Douglas Sirk film All That Heaven Allows. Pseudo remake. I don't know if it's exactly the same thing, but I haven't seen that one yet, but I did see All That Heaven Allows and we liked it quite a bit. Really liked that. So we picked it up in November, but I have not seen Far From Heaven yet. And I would like to see that as well. Is that a 1992 film? Is that why you brought that up? Because that would be another good reason to watch that. Rose says, All of Us Strangers was incredibly moving. Can't think about it or put it into words. Was low-key bawling in the theater. Yeah, so that's kind of the experience I had with Anatomy of a Fall. And there's part of me that's like, man, is Anatomy of a Fall my favorite movie? Or is Poor Things? They're so different. I don't know. I'm going to have to suss that out before I release. I think my list... No, I don't think it's public. I think it's actually public on my Letterboxd already. But it might shift around a little bit because, I don't know. I feel like I need to watch Poor Things and Anatomy of a Fall again, and I don't know if I'm going to get time to do that before the Oscars, but I'd like to watch them again because I like them both quite a lot. Very, very much. Let's see. Evil Wax says, I recently watched The Descendants again, and it just keeps getting better every time. Expo Oscars are March 10th. Okay, good. So that gives us quite a bit of time. So they're announcing the noms pretty early. That's good. It'll give us about almost 2 months to catch up on the last few that we need to see. Connor says Unforgiven is his favorite from 92. The Bailey Walsh, The Discarnates from 1988 is also an adaptation of Strangers, which is what All of Us Strangers is. I find it available to watch online and have it open in a tab to watch soon-ish. That's always the problem. There's so much to watch. Connor says, I've seen nothing. Well, stop watching Little Mermaid and all the DC movies, Connor, and watch some of the good movies. I keep seeing your Letterboxd, and it's just like you being depressed by all the movies you're watching. But no, I think you really need to watch. You specifically, Connor, need to watch May December. I think that's perfectly suited to your sensibilities, and I can't wait to hear what you think about it. Ethan Edwards, a lot of the great Disney movies feel more geared to children now that Pixar came along. Interesting you say that. So you say feel more geared to children now that Pixar came along. So you're saying that after the fact? Because I actually have kind of a rant about modern Disney movies. I really don't like what they're doing with modern Disney movies because as someone who has two small children, very small children, 3 and 5, I think it's very important for kids to have a black and white view of the world while they can. And that's why I love classic Disney movies, because there is just a villain who's just evil. And kids need that in their life. I don't like showing my kids the 3D Disney movies because they're so young, and I don't want, it's like, oh no, like my mom might be evil. The woman who's raising me might be evil. Or this person who I meet that it's like my boyfriend that I'm falling in love with might be evil. Like, we have not done an evil villain in like forever. When was the last time? Like Tangled, Frozen, they're always like loved ones or twist villains, or like Encanto is like the grandmother's the bad guy. I don't want my 3-year-old to be thinking about that right now. I want them to have good guys and bad guys while they can. They can learn about all the gray area and like how terrible the world is later. Come on, Disney, just give us the same thing with Wish, which was terrible. They didn't even like Wish. I took them to that. But like, of course, it's got to be the king. The government is terrible and trying to ruin everything. Like, can we just have a villain in a Disney movie so my kids can have a little light fun? I really don't like that we can't. It's like I think we're making Disney movies for like the adults that grew up with Disney now. Our kids don't have like classic Disney movies to go to anymore. They all have all this like deconstruction of Disney films to watch, which is super bummer. I don't like it. Sci-Fi Sam, hey, I haven't said your name yet. Happy birthday. What criterion should I get for my girlfriend's birthday before Valentine's Day? Ooh, I would have to meet your girlfriend, and that's, sorry if that was weird, but I don't know anything about her tastes. I don't know if there's just a generic thing I can throw out that she might like. But relevant, the one that's coming out soon, Picnic at Hanging Rock, is, you might want to wait for the 4K if you want that. But it takes place on Valentine's Day. So that's a good Valentine's Day movie. I would direct you to one of my videos. If you haven't seen it yet, I have a top 10, and it's kind of an old video, and I was kind of terrible in it, so forgive me for that. But I did a video with Grace called Top 10 Date Night Movies that we did last February. And we talked about our 10 favorite and a few honorable mentions, our 10 favorite movies that we like to watch together on date nights. So check that video out if you haven't. And hopefully we can do an update on that soon, because that was a really fun one. I wish we had time to do more top 10s together, because we always talk about that. It's hard to make time. But yeah, we talk about a lot of date night movies there. And any one of those I would recommend. Some Almodovar is great. What's the big one that was like our number one? Oh, Demy, Jacques Demy films are great. I would recommend. Well, that's the box set though. But some of Demy's films are available outside of the box set, like Umbrellas of Cherbourg, and I think Young Girls of Rochefort is available too. So maybe get those if you like musicals. If she likes French movies. And Almodovar is also Spanish. I don't know if she likes reading subtitles. That's usually the big thing I hear from like, and that's nothing against women. I know a lot of women like subtitles, but like specifically like in my life, the guys that I've that have been into this stuff too, like their girlfriends like, yeah, I'm not watching subtitles movies with you. So that can be a thing. Grace was like that too, but she has completely gotten over that now because we've just kind of worked through that, and she loves them now, and she watches them with me all the time. So it's great. So that can just be like a hurdle for some people who didn't grow up with it to get over. So I don't know what your girlfriend's into, but check out that video and let me know what you think. Bailey Walsh. The Discarnates is from Obayashi, who also directed House. Oh, sweet. I've never seen another film from that guy. Is it as crazy as House? It can't be as crazy as House. Ethan says, have you seen Hereditary or Midsommar? No, I have not seen those. Those ones didn't. I heard too much. I had Hereditary spoiled for me, actually. But yeah, there's I don't know. Those didn't appeal to me in the same way that Beau is Afraid seems to be appealing to me. Internet user, I rewatched After Hours recently, and I liked it a lot more than my first viewing. Oh, good. I'm glad. That's a movie that I like more each time. I watched it 4 times last year, and I wouldn't say it grew on me because I did like it the first time, but I definitely like it a lot more now. Connor, DJ, I've finally been putting the Shining puzzle I got at Half Price Books while in Georgia. Been at it for a week. Very difficult puzzle. Oh, sweet. So yeah, Connor visited me a couple of years ago, and we went to Half Price Books together, and I didn't remember that you bought a Shining puzzle. That's so random. Grace got a puzzle this week that is all the Best Picture winners, and we're trying. It's like 1,000 pieces. I don't have the patience for puzzles. She's really good at them. She's already got some good progress on it. Played Out says Godzilla -1 is my top 5. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about that, but I want to see it in a theater, so I need to hurry up and get to a theater before it's gone. I'm gonna have to speed up. You guys are very active today. Thank you so much for all the activity in the chat. What do you think about Best Buy no longer selling movies? Okay. We've kind of been talking about this on and off for the last couple weeks. It's not a huge deal for me. The Best Buys around me haven't sold movies for a long time. They remodeled like last year and already got rid of all the movies. So I've had to drive like 40 minutes or whatever to get to a Best Buy that even has movies. But even when I do, I don't usually find much. I don't buy a lot of new things, and I kind of am just at the point now where I want to buy like almost exclusively boutique stuff or like the luxury stuff and just kind of focus on that. I don't usually buy a lot of new releases because what I find what I do is what I'm doing right now. I catch up on all the movies from like the previous year, and then I buy all the ones that I really like, and then I never watch them again. And I could have just waited till like Black Friday or waited until they went down to like $10 on eBay or something. So I'm probably going to hold off on all the Best Picture noms this year and just buy more boutique stuff that I'm interested in actually watching first, because I just watched all these movies and I'm probably not going to watch them again for a while. Like we still haven't watched Banshees again, which was like our favorite movie from last year. Grace keeps hounding me to watch that again. So I don't know. I know a lot of people are going to really miss Best Buy, but I wasn't buying much stuff from them anyway at this point. I do think it's a bummer, but I think the future is just going to be online. As much as it sucks, because I love shopping in stores, it's so much nicer to get it in your hands and you feel like you're actually getting something right then and there instead of having to sit and wait for a couple weeks. But I don't know. Amazon gets it to you in 2 days, so it's not too bad. It's just, I know for me and a lot of people, like hoping that Amazon doesn't destroy it in the mail is another big issue. But it's a bummer, but it's not changing my buying habits that much. So selfishly, it doesn't really matter, but I am bummed for the people that really like shopping at Best Buy. Let's see. Running on Empty, this is from Kevin House, is an outstanding River Phoenix film. I wish that movie was much better known. Oh, cool. Thank you for that. Ethan Edwards says, Connor can be a moderator until 11:29 when he goes live. Is Connor going live? Oh. Is he making fun of you again, Connor? Let's see. Dan says Far From Heaven was a Todd Haynes joint. That's why I brought it up. That's right. I remember seeing that when I looked it up. So I looked up his filmography after I watched May December, and I did see that on there. And I was kind of surprised because that seems, like I said, is melodrama-y, so it makes sense. But I was surprised by some of the other things on his filmography. He's done a lot of weird different stuff. And then Evil Wax says, my favorite Todd Haynes movie is Safe. I've heard a lot of good things about that one too. Jackson Dutton's here. Hey, welcome. Just watched In a Lonely Place, 1950s masterpiece. That's the Bogey film, right? I think I have a copy of that. I think that's one of the ones I inherited in that collection. But I haven't watched it yet. Ethan Edwards, I meant that Pixar films feel so much fresher and more modern. I gotcha. So you're saying that that the quality of Disney's films seems more kids movies when compared to Pixar. Yeah, I mean, Pixar's been doing solid stuff forever. I've liked a couple of their new ones. I really liked Luca, and what else did they do? I'm actually excited for Inside Out 2. Like I was like, I don't want a sequel to that. Doesn't make any sense. But the trailer was actually pretty funny. That was the best thing about going to see Wish, was seeing that little 30-second trailer. Dan's says Chris Pine's King Magnifico in Wish was an attempt at a traditional Disney villain, but that movie was unfortunately poor. Yes, it that's a good way to describe it. Unfortunately poor. Very, very poor. That was it. I don't know, maybe I'm being too harsh, but it knocked Home on the Range off of the pedestal as worst Walt Disney Animation Studios film. I really did not like it. I never thought I would say that, but it was worse than Home on the Range. Bailey Walsh, yes, Disney villains have sucked for quite a while. All the iconic villains come from the classics. Yeah, man, we need some classic Disney villains again. Not everything has to be like I don't know, things that kids don't need to be thinking about yet. It's complicated. I mean, it's great for us adults. I know like a lot of girls and boys and just kids in general. I mean, teenagers and adults in general really connected with Tangled's like controlling mother figure, including my wife. But yeah, like I don't want my kids thinking about that already. That thing is that Disney wants to be taken seriously, except in real life, people do bad things because they are. Yeah. Wow, I've started like a whole bunch of rants. I'm glad you guys are with me. I thought I was gonna get like just completely obliterated for saying that. Because I know a lot of people like Frozen and Tangled. I'm not one of them. Lonesome is a good Valentine's Day Criterion. Pasolini Solo on Blu-ray for the girlfriend. Someone has to make that joke every time. Connor, Picnic at Hanging Rock is great. One of the most impressively constructed tones I've ever felt from a movie. Yeah, that's a movie you just have to let wash over you. And like if you're looking for answers, or if you're looking for the movie to answer things for you, then it's not a great movie. So maybe don't watch it if you like that kind of thing. But if you just want a movie that just like gives you a vibe and like a feeling and then like can start conversations, because Grace didn't like it as much. I loved it, but I don't think she's as much of a tone poem kind of movie. Kind of the same thing with like EO, if you guys watched that from last year, which she did like it, but it's just, I think there's just like a little bit of, it's like unsatisfying for her and a lot of people, I'm sure. But yeah, I don't know, something about just sitting with the movie for a little bit and thinking about it afterwards, something I like. Connor Nielsen, I liked it when I watched it, but it's not left me alone. I have been itching to rewatch it. Hey, Connor, maybe we should do that on a Criterion Corner podcast pretty soon. I'd love to do that. We can tie it in with Valentine's Day, maybe. That might have to be my next pick. Oh, let's see. Zada Generous. I just ordered Rebels of the Neon God from '92. So stoked to see it. Awesome. What label did you order it from, if you don't mind me asking? Is that a Criterion film? Also, I don't think I've talked to you tonight yet, so welcome. Let's see. Rose, if your partner doesn't like to read subtitles, time to start planning an ethical and tactical breakup. LOL. No. People can change. Like I just said, Grace, she changed. So don't give up on people just because they have different tastes, because you can rub off on your partner. Let's see. Cabin House Marriage Story with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson would be a great date night movie. Whoa, maybe like a fourth or fifth date night movie. I don't know about an early date night. That was a rough one. I've seen that one. I didn't watch it with Grace. She wasn't there, but whew, that one kind of broke me. I don't know if I'd want to watch that on a first couple date. Although Grace and I's first movie that we went on a date and saw in theater was, what's it called? That Fault in Our Stars. Fault in Our Stars was the first movie. So we started dating in 2014, and that was the first movie we saw in theaters. And spoiler alert for that movie, if you care and you haven't seen it yet, the main character dies from the very specific kind of cancer that I had, which was Hodgkin's lymphoma. And that was very awkward, and Grace was weeping, but it was fun. A fun first date. Rose, the Big Wonka Cup. Oh, I'm kind of down. Bad, I fear. Oh, I'm kind of down. Bad, I fear. I don't know what you mean by that, but yeah, I got this. We got this when I was very excited to go see this. But I don't know. I didn't like the movie, but it's still a nice cup. It's a nice big cup that fits a lot of water in it. Yeah, I hear you just means that I don't know if he's talking to me, that the only place to buy movies in person is Barnes & Noble. Okay, so about the Best Buy thing. Yeah, and who knows how long it'll be before we can't even do that anymore. Like, my Barnes & Nobles have been shrinking, like almost each sale with how much stuff they're still holding. So hopefully they hold strong with those and I can still buy stuff there. But even still, like for the last November sale, we had to order a lot of stuff and get it to come in because we've kind of picked over all the stuff that we want or that we're interested in the Barnes & Noble. So even that's going online for me, which is a bummer because, and I mean, there's like a whole genre of YouTube in our niche, at least, where like people get to go into stores and make videos, and that's really fun. And I never really got into that with other stores, but I do it with the Barnes & Nobles, which is going to be a huge bummer if I can't do that anymore because I love doing those videos and you guys love watching those videos. So it's going to be, I don't know. I hope Barnes & Noble sticks with it because I don't know. That's going to be, like I said, it's just going to suck when that finally happens. But it's probably inevitable. Let's see. Brantar, yeah, early Disney is the best. Nothing from them now is worth watching, in my opinion. Yeah, I felt like that for a while. But my kids like the classics. We go a lot. I really tried to make a constant. It's really tough now that they're like going to school and they show movies at school, which bums me out. I really don't want them to show them movies before I think they're ready. Not that they can't watch like Pixar movies, but I'm really, really trying to like get them really not indoctrinated, but associated with 2D animation and like have a really strong sense of that before they get into too much 3D, because I know a lot of kids that just grow up with 3D, they can't even look at 2D, which is so sad. And I don't want my kids to be like that. So I've started them from the beginning and we watch, like Snow White, Dumbo, Pinocchio, Bambi was one of my son's favorites. And, everything coming up before I showed them any of the 3D stuff, because I really wanted them to have a strong 2D animated foundation before they went to 3D stuff. Same thing with like, before I showed them a lot of live action, I wanted them to like animation first. So I've been very particular with how I'm showing them things, but every once in a while they'll come home from school and say, hey, I watched Monsters Inc. and Aftercare today. I'm like, no, we were saving that to watch as a family. What are they doing? So that's a bummer, but it's tough. I mean, you gotta let your kids grow up. I can't control everything they do, but I'm trying. Dan's Den saw the Iron Claw recently and wrote a review, thought it was terrific, but it's a hard sit. Oh, it's hard sit. Interesting. So is it like boring? Do you mean it's boring by that? Or do you just mean it's like sad, like really emotional? Haven't seen that one yet. That one's getting kind of snubbed everywhere. No one's talking about that one, but I've heard good things about it. So I'd like to see it if I can. There's just so much stuff in theaters right now. And we haven't even watched any of the shorts or the animated shorts yet. I haven't even seen Boy and the Heron yet, which I really need to see because I love animation. And it won at the Golden Globes. Not that that really means anything, but I would, if it beat Across the Spider-Verse, it's got to be really, really good. Let's see. Exploding would recommend In the Realm of the Senses for the next Criterion sale from the same director as Mr. Lawrence. Huge content warning, though. Okay, I'll take that with a grain of salt, but I love Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, so I would love to check out. Huge content warning. Is it like super violent, super gory? What does that mean? What does it mean? Let's see. Kevin House. Anybody here seen 1981's The Four Seasons, starring Alan Alda and Carol Burnett? I rewatched it last night after many years and really enjoyed it. I have not seen The Four Seasons. I've seen Eric Romer's Four Seasons. Actually, I've only seen 3 of them, but I will watch Winter here pretty soon. Dan says, I like Frozen, but I'm tired of the twist villain. Yeah, they do it every time now. It's really old. Michael Smith. Hey, Michael Smith, how you doing? Picnic at Hanging Rock feels like Sofia Coppola somehow directed that before she was even born. Yeah, it's great. I liked it quite a bit. Hey, John's here. Welcome. John popping in, friend of the channel. We got to get you back on here soon, man. You haven't been over here since we watched the Golden Globes together. Hopefully you can come back soon. Happy birthday, man. Just got home from a movie. What did you watch? I second Kevin's note about running on empty. Oh, cool. Let us know what you watched. Bailey Walsh, I watched Frozen for the first time in December and was so disappointed. I really thought I would like it, but I had so many problems with the plot. Well, yeah, if you didn't watch that like in the heat of Frozen fever, I could imagine that like being really underwhelming because it was huge. And I worked at a gym. I was a coach at a gymnastics gym for like during that time. And good grief, that song, every single like 7-year-old was using that song for their routine, so I had to hear that 5 billion times, and I was so sick of it by the end of it. So I don't like Frozen. I actually like the sequel. I'm the only person in the world likes the sequel more than the first one, although I haven't seen the sequel since the theater, so I don't know if I would like it on repeat viewings. John Henry, 10 years with Grace, congratulations. That's right, we got married in 2016, so we're not celebrating our 10 years yet, but we have been dating for 10 years now. In June. It's not quite 10 years yet. In June, it'll be 10 years. So thanks, man. Appreciate that. Kevin House, yeah, my marriage story recommendation was just an example of my twisted sense of humor. Hey, sometimes that works. Grace has a really dark sense of humor, so you just got to find your person. Ethan Edwards says Schindler's List is not a great date movie. Okay, I'll remember that. Zeta ordered it from Vinegar Syndrome. Okay. That's a good segue. So I started collecting Vinegar Syndrome recently, kind of, not really, but I did buy some of the movies from the partner label. So if you don't know, Vinegar Syndrome puts out like movies that aren't really my taste, but they have partner labels that put out movies that are definitely my taste. And one of those that Grace got me as a birthday present was The Pied Piper, which I believe is a Czech stop-motion animated film, which I watched a bit of a couple years ago, but it was like a crappy YouTube rip or whatever, and I was like, this is beautiful, but it's not looking good on my TV, so I'm gonna wait until I can get a physical copy. And then that year, freaking Deaf Crocodile puts out a physical copy of it. This is a partner label of Vinegar Syndrome. This actually is the Kickstarter exclusive slipcover. They have a different slipcover for like the standard version. This is Deaf Crocodile, which, like Vinegar Syndrome, they also put out a standard version. So that's the only one available now. You can just get this. But then the slipcover version that comes with a book is, I don't know if the book might be in the standard version too. I don't actually know how they do that, but the slipcover version it goes out of print like really quick. They only make so many of those and then they're gone. And so there's a different slipcover for that, but this was actually an exclusive slipcover that went out to the Kickstarter people. And Grace got this off of eBay and sent it to me for my birthday, which is awesome. And I'm so excited to have this. Really, really cool release and very unique. Not a lot of people have that. So I'm happy to have that. That was my first Deaf Crocodile release, and then I just bought with some Christmas money, if I can get this back in here, I want to bend it all up trying to be quick, and then with some Christmas money I just bought Sampo, which is another Deaf Crocodile release with the limited edition slipcover. This one's still sealed. I haven't even opened it yet. Just got this in the mail like yesterday when we got back in town for my birthday trip. So that is from a director called Alexander Tushko, and he made these really cool like Russian fairy tale fantasy films, and Deaf Crocodile has 3 of them, and they look amazing. Watch the trailers on YouTube. The cinematography looks incredible, all these location shootings, and one of them is an epic, and it's got like, I don't even remember, some outrageous number, like 100,000 extras or something crazy like that. Like, these are super epic fantasy films, and I'm very excited to check them out. This is one, and then there's 2 other ones that I also want to get from Deaf Crocodile, and I might get them very soon because I got some birthday money from Grace's parents that can cover those. And then the third one I got, which is a partner label from Vinegar Syndrome, is not Deaf Crocodile. This is another partner label called Yellow Veil, and this is the Saragossa manuscript. From director Haas, which is the second time this has come up on the channel. Connor mentioned this movie a couple years ago when he watched it for the first time, and I've never seen anything from this director, but it sounds really cool, and they have 2 other films from him as well. So there's 3 films from this director, and then 3 films from this director that I want. So I've got one of each. I need to get their other 2, and I need to get his other 2, and I will be getting those pretty soon, hopefully with the rest of my birthday money. So starting to collecting some Vinegar Syndrome partner labels. I don't know if I'll ever start collecting like Vinegar Syndrome proper, but I at least have jumped into the game with those. Someone mentioned those at the very beginning of the stream before we started, so thank you so much for noticing those in the thumbnail, because that was really cool of you. And I'm glad I got another Vinsyn guy out there. Connor says, I need to get my hands on Arrow's limited edition 4K set of Tremors, but that is out of print, sadly. Those out of print prices on eBay are insane, and it sucks. I wish there was something we could do to get around the scalpers, but I really want, I guess it's not scalpers at this point. I guess some of them could have been when they first bought it. I really want to get the Flash Gordon LEOOP because, I don't know, something about watching Barbarella recently just made me want to check out Flash Gordon as well. Another movie I've never seen, but another 80s or an 80s fantasy thing. Barbarella's 60s, but I don't know. It put me in the mood for that stuff. Conan's coming out soon, so I'm gonna try to get that one before the Arrow sale's over at the end of the month. But yeah, I really want to get my hands on that Flash Gordon one, but it's like $80 online, and I don't want to pay that much for it. Steven Schroeder, happy birthday! Keep up the good work. Thank you, Steven. My brother's name is Steven. He was just here yesterday, and he gave me the It Came From Outer Space Universal Essentials collection, which I'm very excited about. Haven't seen this one, so this is the first of the Universal Essentials collection that I haven't seen, but I love me some retro 50s sci-fi, War of the Worlds kind of stuff, and I can't wait to check that one out. It's a beautiful set. Haven't opened it yet, but thank you so much, Steven, my brother, for getting that for me, and thank you so much, Steven Schroeder, for the birthday wishes. David Alby's here as well. He also wishes me happy birthday. Thank you so much. It's not belated. It's today, so you're fine. You don't have to say belated. This is my birthday. Dan's Den, no, it's a tough emotional movie about the bonds of family. Speaking about the Iron Claw, thank you for that clarification. Let's see. Connor says The Boy and the Heron is great. I'd say on par with Across the Spider-Verse. Good. I'm excited to see it. I'm hoping that I like it enough that I don't care who wins the Oscar, that I'm just like, okay, they're both great films. Whichever one gets it, I'm totally fine with, because I'm looking forward to that one. Rose says, I prefer Mary X Mr. Lawrence, but In the Realm of Senses is excellent. Okay. Well, hey, that's good company. I freaking loved Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. So you're not saying anything bad if you still prefer that one to it, because it's incredible. Kevin House says, The Iron Claw interests me because I used to watch a lot of pro wrestling back in the day, and I remember the Von Erich family. Yeah, so, and I've heard from people, I was never into wrestling, but I've heard from other people on YouTube that were really into wrestling, and it's very respectful and realistic, and that even they like it. So I'm sure you'll love it, man. I hope you get a chance to see it. Let's see. Sci-Fi Sam with another, this is always the toughest question. Top Criterion wish list. Few of mine are The Hunt, Eyes Wide Shut, and Ed Wood. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I know a lot of people are clamoring for Eyes Wide Shut. I don't know if that's a Warner Brothers release or not, or if that's like tied up in rights issues or something, because they don't have all of his movies. And Ed Wood's interesting. I've always meant to see that because I'm not a huge Tim Burton fan. I really like Big Fish, but that's like maybe the least Tim Burton movie. So I'd like to see Ed Wood because that's like a good, people say that's a good Tim Burton movie that's actually Tim Burton-y. So I do want to see that. That's a good one. I'm sure I have a lot of things that I would put on that wish list. I don't have anything that's like right at the top of my mind right now because I'm mostly just trying to catch up on other things. But that's the second time that's come up in one of these streams. So I think I'm going to make a note to like put together a list on Letterboxd specifically called, I think I actually started that last time someone brought this up, but I don't know how far I got with it. But I need to make a public list about my wish list because that comes up a lot, and I need an answer. I need an answer that I can just spout off as soon as somebody asks me that question, because it's a good question, and I always feel disappointed with myself for not having a great answer. Death by Hanging is another Nagisa Oshima film you should check out. Director of Mr. Lawrence. Okay, cool. Yeah, I really want to check out more of his stuff because that's what happens lately is I like watch a director and I'm like, man, I want to watch all of his stuff. But there's so many other directors that I have to watch. This morning, I just watched for the very first time, and I haven't showed this on the channel yet, Pandora's Box. Look at this. And I'm going to do a video like going over all of these in like 10 minutes so the people who don't like to watch streams can see this stuff and not have to watch through this entire stream. But I'll show you guys first because you guys get a little sneak peek because you're the super fans. This is Pandora's Box, which just came out, and it looks incredible on the shelf next to the new thing that I just showed you last week, which is the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. So we've got this, which is a 4K. This is not a 4K, unfortunately. It is a Blu-ray, but there's a lot of stuff they had to do to this to get it to be a complete film. So I understand why it's not necessarily 4K. It doesn't look as good as this. Well, actually, it probably does because this looks incredible for the print, but I mean, it's still super, super old 1920 film, so there's still a lot of blemishes and stuff on the screen, but they both look great, and they're both incredible movies. I had already seen this, watched this a few years ago, but popped in to see what the transfer looked like. Then I popped this in this morning to see what the transfer looked like. I was just going to watch a little bit of it, see what it looked like, see what they had, the bonus features and stuff, but then I got sucked in and I watched the entire thing, all 2 hours and 14 minutes of it. This is an amazing movie. This kind of blew me away. I loved it this morning. If you haven't seen Pandora's Box, I highly recommend this. It's still in print. I just bought this from Eureka, like just brand new, and it was super cheap. I'm starting to collect Eureka now. This is the only two I have, and I also have Sunrise, which isn't in a deluxe case. It's just a standard case, but they're awesome, an awesome label, and they're 4Ks, are region free, so you have no problem there. The Blu-rays, I use the button hack on my Panasonic player, which allows me to watch region B stuff, which hasn't failed me yet, so that's great. If you have a way to watch region B stuff, I highly recommend checking out Eureka because they're amazing. They have free shipping worldwide. They don't do the thing that everybody else does. Indicator charged me $20 for shipping. They don't charge you any shipping, and they shipped it right to me, and it was fine. It got here in perfect condition. So I'm turning into a Eureka fanboy. I need to pick up more stuff from them because they're a great label. They have a ton of bonus features, and everything looks great. I love it. Let me see. Gymnastics, huh? It's all starting to make sense now. I don't know what that means, but I actually wasn't a gymnastics. Well, I guess I was a boys gymnastics coach for a little bit, but mostly I was a parkour and free running coach for the kids program because I was into that. I was really into that from my high school and college years. Death by Hanging is a perfect movie. Connor says not going to do a complete deep dive, but I hope to watch a good bit of William Wyler's catalog this year. Evil Wax says Saving Private Ryan is not a good date movie. Yeah, we could list all those. I'm sure we could list a ton. There's a ton of movies that would not be a good date night movie. Ethan Edwards, start with the best years of our lives. Oh, sorry, he's talking to Connor. Excuse me, I won't interrupt that conversation. Super jelly about that Pied Piper slipcover. I would take either slip, but neither is available. ARG. Yeah, she knocked it out of the park with that gift. The other one's really nice too, though. If you can find the other one, will probably be a little bit cheaper secondhand on eBay, but the other slip is really nice too. I'd be happy with either. John says we saw Origin tonight and both liked it a lot. Such a unique structure. It follows the author of the nonfiction book it's based on. Can't think of another movie like it except adaptation. That's the Duvernay film, right? I think I heard a little bit about that. It's kind of getting completely snubbed. I heard there was like no marketing for it, and she was like passing out flyers herself or something really sad. Like, that's a bummer. But if you saw it here, because you live here, I might be able to find a theater that's playing it too, and maybe check it out. I'm actually watching Existence 4K right now, and it's such a naughty little film. Jude Law's pretty little, you know what that is. An American accent hits a bit too good. Interesting. Have a good night. Hope it ends well for you. Ethan, Kino Lorber has a ton of Wyler as well. Cool. He's still talking to Connor. Get out of here, guys. Get a room already. What are you doing? You're taking up the whole chat. An internet user, congrats for joining the Vinegar Syndrome extended family. Thank you. I'm actually in a Vinegar Syndrome group on the movie Facebook groups, and there's a lot of stuff going on in there that I have no idea what's going on, but I joined mainly for the partner labels. But yeah, thanks. I'll be here, until I'll be here forever until they stop making movies, I guess. Maybe one day I'll buy a real Vinegar Syndrome movie proper, but I don't know. I think the closest thing I have to their kind of stuff is these, which is another birthday present that Grace got me today. She got me the Stanley Long's Adventures trilogy. Adventures of a Taxi Driver, Adventures of a Private Eye, and Adventures of a Plumber's Mate, which is one of the weirdest things she's ever got me. But I saw it. I started looking into it when we were getting on the big Indicator kick a couple months ago around Christmas time, and I was like, that would be kind of fun to watch. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if these are going to appeal to us or not. It could go either way, but I'm excited to watch those with Grace and see if we like them. If we like them, hey, another awesome box set from Indicator. If we don't like them, we can sell them and sell them to I don't know, someone on eBay or someone in one of the groups. But yeah, I looked up the trailers on YouTube, but the trailers are just horrendous quality. Like, they're so bad. So I'm hoping these look a little bit better and have been cleaned up. I know Indicator does a really good job on the restoration. So that's the Adventures trilogy. Let me know if you guys have seen those and if they're fun. I'm not expecting anything amazing, but I'm hoping for a fun night with the wife. Kevin says It Came from Outer Space is one of my favorite sci-fi films. Oh, wow. That's awesome. I'm really excited to check that one out. Dan says Norman Jewison, director of Fiddler on the Roof, In the Heat of the Night, and Moonstruck fame, just passed away. People don't realize he was one of the biggest directors of the 60s and 70s. Wow. God, I haven't even heard about that. That's crazy. Sorry about that. I don't know if I think I've seen Fiddler on the Roof. But I don't know if I've seen any of his. I've probably seen some of his other films, but I haven't seen the other two that you mentioned. Let's see. Ethan Edwards, Hamilton book has the Tremors Arrow 4K Steelbook for only $24.99. Usually goes for $60. Ethan Edwards, he's got to cash that Hamilton book check. He's got to bring them up at least once a stream. But yeah, Connor, go and get that while it's hot, man. because that is a good deal. And let me know how Hamilton Book is, because I've never bought anything from there. But Ethan Edwards is always praising it. Kevin House, sorry to hear that about Norman Jewison. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Senior Nerd, hey, welcome. Haven't talked to you yet. What is your recommended Blu-ray 4K player? And I'm not an expert on this. I just do what the people tell me to do. I'm a rube. I got the Panasonic 820 because that's what everyone on the internet says is the best player. So I got it. It was like on sale at some point for Amazon. And it's a really good player. I've had no problems with it. I've also had no problems with I also recommend the Sony. I'm never going to remember what it's called. I'm going to have to look it up because that's a good player too. I've never had any problems with that one either. Sony 4K player. What is it called? The Sony X700. So I had the Sony X700, the UBP X700 for years and years. Never had any problems with it. But the reason I went with the Panasonic 820 is because of the button hack, which is crazy. There's like this little button hack. You can just push two buttons. Like when you put a Region B movie in, it comes up on the menu screen. It's like, this is not for your region. You shouldn't be watching this. And if you just hit these couple buttons on the Panasonic, I think it works on all the Panasonics, but I specifically have the UB820. There's like one above that, the UB9000. That's like $1,100 player. I don't have that one, but I have the 820, and you just push a couple buttons and it goes right to the menu, bypasses everything. It's amazing. Hopefully they don't fix that at some point because it's awesome. So that's why I got the Panasonic. I wanted a better player in the theater downstairs, and which had like, what is it? What's the thing that has Dolby Vision? And I wanted one that I could play Region B stuff on. So that's why I got that player, invested a little bit in that. It's kind of expensive, but I recommend if you don't need those two things that I just mentioned, if you don't need Dolby Vision or Region B stuff, then just get the cheaper model, which is the Sony X700, because I never had any problems with that. I know some people say they have problems with the discs skipping or not playing, so if you have that, sorry, don't come after me, but I never had any problems with mine. Mine was actually a really good player. I need to do a theater video where I can actually show you like what I use, because I've been meaning to do that for a while and I never have. So I need to do that. Just do like a theater, what is that called? A theater tour? Theater tour? Shelf tour? Room tour? Whatever they call those things on YouTube. An internet user, Louise Brooks is so gorgeous in Pandora's Box. Yeah, it's a beautiful movie just all around. Everything looks great. Internet user, did not know that about Norman Jewison. I watched Rollerball for the first time last year and really liked it. Kevin House says Louise Brooks was a very interesting lady who wrote a very popular and well-received memoir. Interesting. That was the first thing I've seen her in, I believe. And she was great. She's like the whole movie. When I came home, I had Hugo 4K and A Perfect World Blu-ray waiting for me on my wet, snow-covered porch. Oh no! I hope they were okay. I hope they were packaged well. Yeah, when I came home, I had Sampo sitting for me, but they put it in the mailbox. Luckily, it was small enough to slide in there. And he had it in a box and everything, but it was a small enough box. But sorry, man. Hopefully your stuff... I've had that happen before, though, in the rain. We don't have snow here, but I've definitely had stuff show up wet. But luckily, it was in a couple envelopes. Jeffrey says the packaging of Pandora's Box is amazing. It's so good, isn't it? It's so cool. I love these hard slipcases that they do. And this also comes with a book. So there's the artwork on the case. It's got a nice clear case. They do the black cases for the 4Ks, but they do the clear cases for the Blu-rays. And then there's the booklet. Nice thick booklet. Criterion indicator style booklet. Lots of stuff going on in there. I'll do a proper review of those here soon because I'm a Eureka boy now, I guess. Michael Smith says Eureka is starting a U.S. distributor. Yes, thank you for mentioning that because I meant to mention that earlier, but I just got the email from them a couple days ago. So that's another reason if you're not collecting Eureka, you can go ahead and start now because they're going to be putting out U.S. releases, kind of like Indicator's been doing lately. So good news for us U.S. people. We don't have to pay. Well, Eureka didn't have shipping anyway, but it will be nice just to be able to buy stuff like from Amazon and stuff. Kevin House, I'm really glad you liked Pandora's Box. A few years ago, I spent quite a few bucks for the OOP Criterion release. Yeah, I've looked at that. I've almost pulled the trigger. I'm glad I didn't because I like this better. And as you guys can see, recently, I have just thrown caution to the wind and have been just like buying other things that aren't Criterion. So like, I'm never going to have a complete Criterion collection. I don't think I ever would anyway because I don't want to buy movies that I just really don't like. But now I don't even have to have the ones that I do like because I've been branching out and I bought the Three Colors trilogy from Curzon. I bought this from Eureka. So I just want the coolest looking release, the nicest release with the best restoration or the best features. I don't need everything to be Criterion. I'm not a completionist. I'm not a Criterion completionist. So I have I've thrown any chance of me having a complete Criterion collection out the window at this point because I've started branching out to other labels. But I'm happy with that. I like it. I want to be more eclectic with those. Ethan says John is one of my only Letterboxd followers. hey, there you go. John's finally been writing on Letterboxd. I've been getting onto him quite a bit, and he's finally listened to me. And he's been reviewing things, and he's been keeping up with things that he watches. So I'm happy. I can keep in touch with you, man. Ethan says Counselor at Law and Good Fairy are great too, especially Good Fairy. Michael Smith, favorite Jewison film is Cincinnati Kid. Cincinnati Kid. Internet user, Weiler directed The Desperate Hours, didn't he? Arrow put that out last year, really liked it. This is still that conversation with Weiler that several of you guys are having in the chat. Let's see. People still talking about that. Ethan says, I have the same Panasonic 4K player because it got the best reviews, right? That's like all the people in all the groups, if you ask what the best 4K player is, everybody says that one. I mean, they say the Panasonic 9000, but no one has $1,100 to spend on a player. So for us normal people, the Panasonic 4K, you use the UB820, that's the one to go with. That's what everyone says. And I just do what everyone says because I don't know anything about technical specs. And now this. Hey, welcome. I have the Panasonic 4K player too. I love it. I have to try the hack. Never knew about it. Yeah, I guess I could do a video about that, but there's no reason to. There's a bunch of videos already on YouTube about it. So if you just Google Panasonic 4K button hack or region lock button hack, something like that, it'll come up. You basically just push stop and then you push the top menu button and it just bypasses it. It's super easy and so easy even I could do it, and I know nothing about tech. An internet user, you exposed them, now they're patching it. No, I did not expose them. My little tiny channel is not going to do anything. There's videos already on YouTube about this from years and years ago with like thousands and thousands and thousands of views, and they still haven't fixed it. So if it happens, it's not because of me. It's not because of my little tiny couple thousand subscriber channel. But yeah, that is the button hack. Check out someone else's video, so I'm not the only one culpable. What else did I get that I haven't talked about yet? I talked about the Spider-Man thing. I think that's pretty much it. We hit the Adventures trilogy. We hit the 2 Eureka releases, all of the Vincent releases, and then we talked about the Spider-Man thing, which is so cool. Look at that. And then the last big thing that Grace got me for my birthday is a movie that we both loved last year, and I can't wait to watch it again this year. This might be a St. Patrick's Day tradition in this house, but this is it. Here it is, The Quiet Man. Incredible John Ford movie. If you haven't seen The Quiet Man, just such a fun movie. This is a perfect date night movie for you who asked that earlier. Not in the Criterion Collection, not in any big labels. This is an This is an Olive Films release, spine number 6, which is awesome. Kind of sad because Olive Films went under, and I'm worried that, of course, right after I get this, some other label's going to pick it up and get another release of it. But for right now, this is the only boutique label that has it. I think there's also just a standard Blu-ray from the studio that you can get as well. But this is from Paramount and Olive Films, and it's got a bunch of special features there. And I highly recommend the film because it is a great date night movie, a great St. Patrick's Day movie to watch. It's about I can't even think. I almost said John Ford. It's about John Wayne, who and Catherine O'Hara, one of my favorite actresses of all time. So he goes to is it Ireland? I believe it's Ireland, and it's like a little fun romance with like the whole town is like a character. It's really cool. I highly recommend The Quiet Man. It was great. It's got John Wayne, Maureen O'Hara, and Barry Fitzgerald is in that as well. I'm sure all you guys have seen The Quiet Man. I was late to the party on that one, but John Ford, great movie. And thank you, Grace, for that one. I'm gonna get some water here, because I've been talking nonstop for how long here? Over an hour I've been talking. So we'll wrap this up pretty soon. Got to get to bed, got to get up at 6 to get the kids off to school. But I want to talk to you guys for a little bit. Thank you all who popped in and have been conversating with me a little bit here about movies and birthday and whatever else we've been talking about. We've been talking about a lot. We've covered a lot of things. Oscar noms. Did I talk about? Someone asked me to talk about all the films I've seen. So I've only seen, still at this point, I've still only seen 21 films from last year. I do at least have a like top 10 that I like at this point. For a while, I couldn't even pick a top 10, but I've seen 10 films that I like from last year now. And those are Poor Things, Anatomy of a Fall, Across the Spider-Verse, The Holdovers, May, December. I guess I could show you what I'm looking at over here, but the chat's on there. That'll mess everything up. May, December, American Fiction, Barbie, Past Lives, which we watched, Asteroid City, and Maestro. We watched Maestro, which was, it was good. It didn't, I don't know, right down the middle of the road for me. I love the two lead performances. They're so good, but the movie didn't really do much for me. But yeah, those are the films I liked. I really, really liked Poor Things, really liked Anatomy of a Fall. Sandra Hüller is incredible in Anatomy of a Fall, and she's also in Zone of Interest. She's like the lead in that as well, almost. So I need to watch that. I'm really excited to see that because she's a new actress that I haven't really heard much about, but loved her in Anatomy of a Fall. Holdovers was great. May, December was great. American Fiction. Those are like my top 6 right now. And then Past Lives, Asteroid City are there at the bottom in my top 10 with Barbie. So let me know what else I should see. I know I got to see Zone of Interest. I know I got to see Side of the Snow. All of Us Strangers, Godzilla. There's so many films came out last year. And I don't just want to watch the Oscar noms. I want to watch other things because sometimes things will be in my top 10 that aren't Oscar nominated, like Across the Spider-Verse is in my top 10, and there's no way that's going to get a Best Picture nom because it's going to be stuck in animated. And now this, what are your thoughts on buying bootleg movies? If there's a movie or TV show that they won't release on physical media, I would buy a bootleg version. I'm with you, man. Maybe I'm not supposed to say that online or whatever, but I feel the same way. Like if there's no way I can watch it, I don't want to buy Disney Plus just so I don't want to buy $17 a month or whatever it costs on Netflix just to watch Tick, Tick, Boom when I want to watch it. Like, I love that movie and I want to watch it sometimes, and there's no physical release. And I've looked up bootlegs of it and they look kind of terrible, but it's better than not ever being able to watch it. So I would do that. That's kind of my rule too. I'm with you. Like if there's no other way to watch it, I obviously don't support bootlegs and I don't want people doing that. I don't want to tank the industry or whatever, but if there's no other way to watch it, and especially if it's not even streaming, like that's for sure okay in my book. Maybe some people wouldn't even do that, but I think that's okay. And even when streaming stuff, like I don't want to pay for streaming services, and especially for one movie that I want. So I think that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but I would do it if I really wanted a physical copy of something. I've only done it a couple times in the past. I don't know if I've showed any of those off. I got a couple, like the old 60s Spider-Man show before I had the out of print DVD version there, which I will watch now. Now that I have the DVD, I'll watch it. But before that, I bought a bootleg Blu-ray of the 60s Spider-Man show that was on some site. I don't know what it was. And then I also bought the original Marvel shows, Marvel superhero shows from the 1960s as well, that are kind of like motion comic looking, super old. I was watching those with my kids, you know, the Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those great songs. So I got that. So those are the only bootlegs, like Marvel animated shows that never got releases. I think I have like the 90s show too from somebody that I found online, because they're never going to release those. So it's kind of annoying. But I've never bought like a big movie bootleg. But I'm thinking about it for Tick, Tick, Boom. SC, sadly, I'm too close to a complete collection to stop now. LOL. Yeah, see, that's what they do, man. See, I would never catch up because they're releasing like 5 or 6 every month. So whenever I start making ground, I'm just getting behind again. I would have to buy all the new ones that are coming out to stop the bleeding and then try to catch up. And I'll never. Kyle's doing that. Kyle, great channel here on YouTube. Incredible camera. He's got such good quality camera. And he is trying to catch up. He got through 100 last year, and he's getting through 200 this year. He did a really cool video about his goals, so check that out if you haven't. But he is, I think it's called Kyle's Movie Collection, is what his channel's called. But yeah, more power to you guys that are trying to get a full collection, because that is expensive, and I would never be able to do it because there's too many other labels and other companies that I want to support as well. Bailey Walsh, I've been getting so many other boutique label releases and kind of sideline Criterion to an extent because other labels have limited editions, and I also have the Criterion channel. That's kind of the same boat I'm in. So like I have enough Criterions to watch now. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to kind of pivot towards other labels this year, but And then I'm still going to do the Criterion Hall videos because those are really fun and I love doing those with you guys. But I think I'm only going to pick up like, you know, 1 or 2 things each video and then maybe get I don't know, 6 things for the whole month like a normal person and not come away with like 28 things like I usually do and I said I was going to do that in November and it did not work. I got totally carried away again and it got way too much stuff. So I'm going to chill out on Criterion so I can shed some light on some other labels because there's a ton of labels doing great stuff and I want to support those as well. Carl Ambler is here. There we go. How's it going? Welcome. Bailey Walsh again just received orders of Indicator and imprint movies I got with Christmas money. Same. I got a lot of Indicator. I have never bought an imprint release. I need to finally do that. That's from Australia, right? That they have a really cool release. Well, that stuff that I want from them is like out of print at this point. But I really want the out of towners that they have. They're like the only company that has a really good release of out of towners, and they have a really cool release of The Odd Couple with like both films and the show that I want to get. But that's super expensive on eBay. Gus is here. Hey, Gus, how you doing? Great. DJ is going to make us get a region-free player now. Panasonic will send a patch tomorrow. AOM. Hey, don't blame me, man. There's a ton of videos about it on YouTube, and this is buried in the middle of a live stream. I don't think Panasonic's gonna find it. Let's see. What do we got? Looks like we have a troll in the chat. Let's see if I can take care of that guy. Let me see. Boom. Oh, it's so easy. That was easy. All right. Hey, my first troll. I've made it, guys. I've got my first, what do you call it? Like a bot? I don't know if it's a bot. It probably is a bot because he's typing like crazy. But he's gone, so don't worry, guys. But thanks for those of you who mentioned that. I do need a mod, Ethan. I definitely do. Let's see. Where did you land on Oppenheimer since it's apparently the shoe-in for Best Picture? Oh, great. You're going to make me talk about this so I can get thrown under the bus. Thank you, SC. Oppenheimer wasn't my favorite. I was actually really surprised how much I liked the first 2 acts because I wasn't looking for, full disclosure, I wasn't actually looking forward to it because I haven't liked his stuff in a while. His stuff is kind of too cold and emotionless for me. He doesn't really, I don't know, his characters don't feel real to me. And but I have liked some of his stuff in the past, so I wasn't looking forward to it. But then the first 2 acts, I was like, man, this is amazing. I was totally in it right until the bomb went off, and then it did not go where I felt like it needed to go emotionally with the main character and the stuff that he was dealing with, and obviously would be dealing with if he did something like that. And it focused more on like this petty rivalry but with another guy, and it was all just about his losing his security clearance. I don't know, it focused on the wrong thing that wasn't interesting to me, so it kind of lost me in the 3rd act. But the first 2 acts I was 100% with, and then it kind of lost me after that. But that's just me. Everyone else loves it. I would be kind of bummed if it just cleans up at the Oscars because I don't know, I just want some variety. I want other films to win things. I don't want it to win everything. But who knows? It is like you said, kind of a shoo-in. I hope that Paul Giamatti wins Best Actor, though. Nothing against Cillian Murphy, but I really wanted to go to Paul Giamatti. Brantar, I bought that edition for The Quiet Man. It's really good film. Did you ever go through your collection and start an eBay store? No, but that will absolutely be happening soon. We have got to start clearing the shelves because they're almost full, and I keep adding stuff, and I keep not selling stuff. So that's going to happen soon. I have an eBay account, but I don't have a store right now. It's just like my stuff that I buy stuff with, and I've got some really good feedback from buying stuff. And I used to sell stuff like a long time ago, but I need to start doing that again. So I'm definitely going to do a video like saying, hey, all this stuff is going on the store, and I'll direct you to it then. But no, it's not up yet. But thank you for asking about that. That's really cool. We're thinking about doing something, Grace and I are thinking about like making some custom like stickers or something, or inserts like have to do with the channel that could be cool for people that are subscribers and they want to buy stuff from me, and then we can kind of give them a little surprise inside. So we're thinking about that. Fingers crossed. Hopefully that can start soon, and stay tuned because I'll talk about more about that in the future. Rose says Maestro was just okay, some good moments, but overall kind of disappointing. Tar took my breath away. Yeah, it's nowhere near as good as Tar. It was just kind of fine. I had the same experience with it you did. It's just kind of fine. I really liked I can't remember the actress's name, but she was great, and Bradley Cooper was great. He was fun. I liked his performance, and there was some good moments, like you said, but it was just kind of fine. Not disappointing, but Disappointing in its fineness, I guess, if that's a thing. Slipmaker's here. Hey, welcome, dude. Saw a lot of people surprised Jason Schwartzman was in their top actors on the Wrapped, forgetting he was the Spot in Spider-Verse. Yeah, I'm glad it took me as long to realize who that was, because I don't like thinking about actors when I'm watching animated movies. I like to kind of just... Grace is the complete opposite. She'll like immediately start looking up and see who they are as soon as she hears their voice. Like, who is that? And they'll look it up. I don't like to know at all. I would like to just be completely engrossed in the film and think of them as characters and not have the actor in my head when I'm trying to hear their voice, because I'm a super nerd. But sometimes you can't help it. Like sometimes they just stick out. I did not catch him though. It wasn't until after the fact that I noticed who he was. He was in a lot of films this year. I saw him in 3 films this year. He was in Spider-Verse, he was in Asteroid City, obviously, because it's Wes Anderson, and he was in that little quiz lady film, that Aquafina movie, where he's like this ridiculous Jeopardy game show guy. He's really funny. Rose says, I low-key bought a Chinese bootleg Blu-ray of May December. Ooh. See, that I would not do. Although that's a Netflix movie as well, so it's kind of the same thing as Tick, Tick, Boom. So I get that. Hopefully we get a release of that. Maybe Criterion will pick that one up. That would be nice. Vernal Bug 8911. That goes for a lot of international movies that aren't available for streaming or DVD. Bootleg is sometimes the only option. Yeah, man, I sympathize. I would do the same thing. Kevin House, I remember buying the 66 Batman TV series and the Wonder Woman years. Excuse me, the Wonder Woman years. The Wonder Years, it's getting late. We got to wrap it up. Before they were officially released, both shows took a long time getting released because of rights or music issues. Yeah, Batman 66 took forever to finally get a release, which I have now back there. It's the purple thing right next to the Disney Treasures. But yeah, I remember that was really hard to get the rights to. So yeah, I understand buying bootlegs for that stuff. Connor says, I accidentally bought a bootleg copy of The Trial and Don Quixote. I didn't know about Don Quixote, but I knew you bought a bootleg copy of The Trial and had lots of problems with it. But hey, now you got the Criterion version, so everything is well. Alden Tuttle's here. Welcome, welcome. Happy birthday, DJ. My sister's first child on February 5th. Oh, wow. Sweet. Congratulations to you, sir. You're going to be a little uncle. Not a little uncle, that was demeaning. I don't know how tall you are, but you're going to be an uncle of a little child. Evil Wax, the problem is you never know how good the quality is on a bootleg, taking a huge chance. Yeah, that's a huge... Obviously, you're taking a chance. Hopefully you don't pay too much for it. The 60s Spider-Man show that I mentioned earlier, that I got a bootleg of, for some reason, on the menu, the Spider-Man theme is in like, I don't even know, like Spanish or some other language. It's really, really weird, but it's only on the menu. And everything else is fine after that. Although they do like cut it, they letterbox it to 16:9, which is really annoying, which is why if I'm going to watch it now, I watch the DVD with the kids, because it's the original, not letterboxed 4:3 aspect ratio, which is a must because it's cutting off so much stuff. Rose says, yeah, I won't be only picking up Criterion, definitely creating my purchases more diligently. Finally dipped into Vinegar Syndrome with Existence 4K and Texas Chainsaw 2. Severn next. Yes, Severn. So I have one Severn release that someone got me for Christmas this year, and the other Severn release that I have been threatening to get forever and I really want is Santa Sangre from Jodorowsky, which is an awesome, really crazy, surreal circus movie that I really enjoyed last year. So I still got to get that from Severn. Michael Smith, Serial at Midnight guy has every imprint release sent to him by imprint. Lucky. I know. I'm super jealous of him over at Serial at Midnight. He's been doing great stuff over there. Love his videos as well. I don't comment as much as I should, but love that guy. He's a very lucky man. He gets all the Kino Lorber stuff too. He's been working at this for years though, so he deserves it. Let's see. Who else is here? Vernal Bug. I thought Oppenheimer was okay for me. I would love to see Godzilla -1 to win Best Picture. Okay. I keep hearing great things about that. I need to watch it. I've never seen it. Evil Wax. Why would a troll want to be here where we're talking about movies is beyond me? I don't know. Who knows? Some people just go looking for a live stream just to be annoying. We got nothing better to do. SC. I think I gave it a soft 3 on Letterboxd. Agree on Oppenheimer, want to like it, was underwhelmed. Yeah, I had the same thing. Very, very technically proficient. Like I got no problems with it technically. It's just a personal taste issue. Just didn't hit the right notes for me personally, but everyone else is raving about it, so it doesn't need my support. Rose, completely agree about Nolan being too cold. Yeah, it's very technical, but it just doesn't make me feel anything. I think the last movie I felt something of his was, well, and I haven't seen anything. Like I missed a ton. I watched Dark Knight Rises and really didn't like it, and then didn't watch anything after that. So there's a bunch that I missed. I know I need to see Dunkirk, and I think that's a big one. And also Tenet, I probably need to see. But yeah, I haven't been moved, as Sony would say, by one of his movies in a while. Let's see. The Holdovers is Sideways level Giamatti. It's a great performance. He's amazing. I love Paul Giamatti's great in everything. He's amazing in the crappy Big Fat Liar, was directed by Sean Levy. Anyone seen that? That was a movie I grew up with as a kid. He's amazing in that, and it's just some goofy kids movie. He's wonderful. I really hope he wins because he's great. Cillian Murphy, you got more years. You have plenty of time. Sir. Give it to Paul Giamatti. Kevin House, DJ, The Grapes of Wrath is a John Ford film you really should see. The Grapes of Wrath has been on my list forever, all the way back when I used to have TCM through Hulu. I had that in my saved like DVR list, and I meant to watch it. I never got around to it. But yes, I absolutely love that book. It's one of my favorite books. And I really want to see the movie version. That can be tough. It can be tricky. So a lot of times I don't like adaptations of books that I love, but I've heard that's a great one. And John Ford hasn't let me down yet. I've loved all the John Ford films I've seen. So I do really want to see Grapes of Wrath. That's on my short list for sure. Let's see. Kevin House. Jason Schwartzman was in the Criterion Closet recently and was very engaging. He was? I usually watch all those. I didn't see that one. I might need to check that one out. That's hilarious. I love Jason Schwartzman. He's actually incredible. Was he discovered by Wes Anderson? Is that where he got like his big break? David Albee, I got behind and never got caught up, but I hate Frozen, but love what Frozen 2 tried to be. The BTS series is one of the best Disney BTS things ever, as they're actually honest about the issues behind the scenes. Oh, interesting. That's pretty cool. I never watched those behind the scenes things on Disney Plus, but that's really cool. Yeah, I thought Frozen 2 was interesting, and Frozen just was kind of right down the middle for me. I love the Criterion Closet series. The Kate Blanchett and Louis Guzman are my favorites. I really like the Michael Cera one. Has anyone seen the Michael Cera one? It's super weird, and he's really, I don't know, he's just naturally kind of goofy and funny in it. He's like, one of them like matches his shirt perfectly that he just picks, which is kind of funny. But he's a cool guy too. He seems like he's it's really interesting to see who are movie buffs in those that you wouldn't necessarily expect, and I really like watching those videos. Someday, no, I'll never go there, but if I did, it would be very awkward anyway, because I buy everything that I'm in. Like, anything I've seen, I've already bought. So like, it would just be like blind buys if I went there. I'd have to do like a bunch of research. It would be really confusing and not informational at all, which is why I would never do it. I have 2 bootlegs of Song of the South and Muppet Babies, says Gus. Yeah, you're probably never going to get that. So that might be a safe bet to go with the bootleg. And I've seen that all over the place. Like, everyone does bootlegs of Song of the South, because that's never going to see the light of day. David Albee, but now I get why you rated Strange World higher, because there's not really a switch, which I feel, but I feel that I believe the switch works in Tangled, but it's for adults, etc. Oh, yeah. I don't even know what I rated Strange World. Strange World was just kind of fine. It wasn't good, or it didn't like make me angry, but it also didn't like do anything for me. It was just kind of middle of the road, which is kind of just bleh. Sometimes movies that make me like angry, that I really don't like something in it, will go lower, even if it's a better made movie than just kind of a bland movie like Strange World. So I don't know. My reviews are not trying to be objective at all, or my ratings. I'm just personally, this is what I am interested in. So I don't try to be objective. I'm not a film critic. I have no interest in being a film critic. So don't look at my reviews. A lot of people on Letterboxd are like, what are you talking about? This is ridiculous. I'm like, I don't care, man. I just don't like it. I don't care. It's probably great, but it's just not for me. SC, yeah, I have been getting some Vinegar Syndrome releases lately. Some interesting titles. Yeah, I haven't looked at their catalog. I need to maybe do that, but I'm trying to keep my labels to a minimum because there's so many labels. DJ, yes, I think Santa Sangre 4K from Severin and De La Morte de l'Amor, aka Cemetery Man, on 4K. Yeah, Santa Sangre is great, and I can't wait to see it in 4K. I watched it on a crappy, I watched it on Tubi, which is terrible. It kept, jumping scenes, and the subtitles kept, not matching, or there were, skip some subtitles. Tubi is is free, so I can't really complain, but it's a garbage streaming service. So I really want to see it in nice, pristine 4K with subtitles that work. It would be great. Kevin House, I was super impressed by Oppenheimer, but to each his own. Yeah. No. I'm not trying to talk down on Oppenheimer. I know everyone loves it. Connor loved it. Friend of the channel, but John, another friend of the channel, he was also kind of in the same boat as me. Like the first 2 acts, kind of lost him in the 3rd act. Dan says Big Fat Liar is a childhood classic. Blue Giamatti. Exactly. It is a childhood classic, or at least my childhood, from the 90s, as we established earlier, 1992. Michael Smith, Tenet will only reinforce your feeling about his being too cold. Okay, maybe I'll stay away from that one. But I do want to watch Dunkirk, because I feel like that's one that people bring up a lot. Let's see. Jeffrey Patron, Nolan's Howard Hughes non-made movie is something I think about a lot, considering its weird influence on Dark Knight Rise and somewhat Oppenheimer even. Interesting. Ethan says Interstellar is his favorite Nolan film. Yeah, I've heard very mixed things about that one. Connor says, if you don't like Nolan, do yourself a favor and stay as far away as you can from Tenet. I love it, but it's one of the most obtuse, impenetrable films. It is to Nolan what French Dispatch is to Wes. Okay, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Thanks for putting that in language I understand, because, yeah, French Dispatch is the most Wes Anderson movie ever, and I know there's a lot of people that hate Wes Anderson. I hear that all the time in the groups, but I love Wes Anderson. So watching French Dispatch is just like getting raw Wes Anderson pumped right into my veins. But I won't watch Tenet, because that doesn't sound fun to me. Vernal Berg says The Prestige is the most moving film from Christopher Nolan. Yeah, I know a lot of people love that one as well. Have seen that one. Dan says Jason Schwartzman is a member of the Coppola family. He made his debut with Rushmore, but he had connections. Okay. So that's all who you know is what you're saying. But it doesn't hurt to be friends with Wes Anderson. That dude pumps out movies almost every year. He's a workaholic. I still haven't seen his shorts because we don't have Netflix, and I'm very upset. That's another thing. There we go. Someone asked me like Criterion wishlist. I really want his shorts, but they're so behind on Wes Anderson. Like they still haven't done French Dispatch. They still haven't done Isle of Dogs, and now they got his new one from this year to catch up on too, Asteroid City. So there's a lot to catch up on, but I really want his. If they could fast track his shorts to come out on disc, because there's no disc of them, that would be great, because I have no way to watch them. I don't want to support Netflix. But maybe I could just pay for 1 month and watch those real quick. Let's see. Interstellar is Nolan's most emotional film. Okay, so someone's seconding that. You either like Nolan's style or you don't. To me, there were lots of heart in Interstellar and Inception. Yeah, I loved Inception. I mean, I was senior in high school when I watched it, so of course I loved it, because every teenage boy loved it. But I love Inception, and that was the most emotional I felt. But even in that, like the relationship felt kind of like sterile and not very real to me. But that was the closest it got. That's probably my favorite of his movies. And I really like Batman Begins too. So I don't hate his style. I just need a little bit more from it. And now this, DJ, have you seen the 1981 movie On Golden Pond? It's a good movie. No, I haven't. What's it about? I don't even know what this is about. On Golden Pond. Have not seen that, but thanks for the recommendation. Laren says Schwartzman was also I need to wrap this up soon. How long? Okay, I've been going an hour and a half. I've been talking your ears off, guys. I need to wrap this up. You guys don't need to let me ramble on this long. Schwartzman was also an original member of the band Phantom Planet. Wow. All these Schwartzman facts I didn't know I was going to get tonight. Jeffrey, show up to the Criterion Closet and take only Laserdiscs and Michael Bay movies. Do they still have the Laserdisc in there? I didn't even know they had that. I've never seen anyone pick those up. Ethan says Michael Cera and Jesse Eisenberg need to play brothers in a movie. Didn't Jesse Eisenberg just do a movie with Kieran Culkin? I feel like I saw a YouTube video of them promoting something recently. Connor Nielsen, I love Paul Dano in the Closet. Immediately dropped something. Yeah, that was great. If you haven't seen the Paul Dano one, he immediately talks about like how much reverence and respect he has for the place, and then he immediately drops it on the floor, and he drops it in the most flailingly crazy way possible, trying to catch it, and it just like it's hilarious. It looks like John in the last Criterion haul we did, where he threw his Criterion up in the air and dropped it on the concrete. That was great. Good job, John. Speaking of John, I'm generally not a fan of Nolan, but love Dunkirk. I think it's because the story is so simple and the film is all style. It doesn't get bogged down in narrative and detail like so many of his other films. I would agree with that. Haven't seen Dunkirk, though, so maybe I should watch Dunkirk if that's one of his more accessible films, if you don't like his style. Didn't mean to be taking a stance on Nolan tonight. I don't like have a problem with him or hate his movies or anything. It's just not my favorite. David Albee, I really need a set, either on Letterboxd, separate website, video, short, or something to help us break down what to purchase from each label. Yeah, that could be a cool video. Thank you all for always giving me cool video ideas. I could do like a, I don't know, maybe I'm not the one to do it because I'm not that experienced yet, because I'm just getting into it, but maybe it would be good to get like a beginner's view, like a beginner's guide to the different labels, and just kind of make some recommendations for each one. That could be a fun video. Thanks for that, David. I'll look into that. I'll write it down in my list of ever-expanding videos that I never get to because there's way too many on the list. Connor, I feel like if I was born any earlier or later, I wouldn't be a Nolan guy. But Inception, the movie that made me want to make movies, so I'm a Nolan apologist. That makes perfect sense, man. I'm only like a couple years older than you, but I also loved Inception when it came out, and then loved Batman Begins, and then it kind of fell off after that. Batman Begins was switch those. You know what order they came out in. But yeah, I understand that. If that's what got you into wanting to make movies, of course you're gonna love all of this stuff. That makes perfect sense. John says, I found Interstellar unbearably depressing. Yeah, I've heard mixed things about that. It sounds like a film that you have to get on the same wavelength early, and otherwise it's gonna lose you. Tubi slander will not stand, dude. Just tell them to fix their, like, I'm telling you, the movie was literally skipping and the subtitles were not matching up with the words. It was terrible. And Connor's told me things about Tubi, like the aspect ratio, like changing in the movie. Like, Tubi has problems, but I love that it's a free streaming service. I always support that. I think that's great. The fact that you can watch stuff on there that you can't watch anywhere else, great. I love Tubi, but they got problems. They could fix the UI a little bit. Yeah. EvoX says the point of Christopher Nolan movies is to be technically amazing and to make you think, and that's great. I think there's a place for that. Obviously, Gus, I need to buy some John Malahai movie books. You should. Go ahead and check out his book on top 10 summer movie. Not top 10. Excuse me. That was the video we did, but it's just called Summer Movies, and there's like 30 films in there. 30 summer movies. Go check it out. It's available on Amazon. Quick plug for John's book. Let's see. Oh no, I love Tubi. LOL, it works great for me a majority of the time. Yeah, I'm sure it does. I've only had one bad experience with it. I also watched a couple other things on there before. Connor says he watched Showgirls for the first time on Tubi. Wrong aspect ratio, commercial breaks, inconsistent stream, just as God intended. Yeah, so Connor also has added to the Tubi slander in my mind, so I feel like I have been validated there, but I'm sure it's great most of the time. Let's see. Dan says Tubi is mixed, but they have a solid catalog. We're talking about everything under the sun tonight. Sorry for the randomness, but this is a random stream. We're just talking whatever you guys want to talk about. You guys are guiding me. It's the blind leading the blind. Let's see. David says he adores Tenet, basically everything Dunkirk on and everything pre the Dark Knight trilogy. Sweet. So this has just been commandeered by Nolan this evening, which is funny because I don't even really have much to say about it. It's just kind of meh. It's not like I have strong feelings either way about the guy. Let's see. Dell says, oh, Dell on movies. Hey, thank you for commenting. Thank you for coming. First time I've seen you on the stream tonight. I like Wes Anderson, but Asteroid City felt like all Anderson's style, but with none of the emotion he normally manages to create through all the deep deadpan. I would agree with that. Actually, I'm a huge Wes Anderson fan, but yeah, it's like number 9 on my list. I didn't love it. I think I gave it like a 3.5. So it maybe even should be a 3. I don't know. But I don't love his movies the first time. It usually takes a couple times to warm up to his movies. So I was chalking that up to first impressions, and hopefully I like it better on a second viewing. But I'll know on a second viewing whether I like Asteroid City or not, because another one's very divisive. Like, a lot of people aren't feeling it. It's been completely, I don't want to say snubbed, because just a lot of people don't think it deserves to be in awards talk. So it hasn't been getting anything this year. Last 2 years, people didn't like French Dispatch either. So he's been kind of in a slump. But I don't know. Hopefully he gets out of it. Hopefully, I don't care. It's not all about awards. He's making what he wants to make. That's fine. I don't want to support Netflix. Yes, I won't stand to fund or support subpar propaganda. Yeah, I just don't really like streaming services because I want to support physical. So that's mainly what it is for me. And I also just think it's not even like a principle thing. I just think it's like the worst streaming service. They don't have anything. They barely have anything on there. It's been pretty crappy for a while. I think Criterion Channel and HBO Max and Disney Plus are way better streaming services. We're still on Nolan. Usually people who like Nolan really like everything. Surprised you don't like Interstellar or Inception. I do like Inception a lot. And he might be talking to somebody else in the chat. He might not be talking to me. Sorry. I won't intercede into your conversation. Kevin House on Golden Pond is a family drama with Henry and Jane Fonda plus Katharine Hepburn. Oh wow! Just watched Jane Fonda in the Barbarella, and I love Katharine Hepburn. Performances are excellent. Thank you for the recommendation, Kevin. Always give me great recommendations. As we wind down this random stream at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time over here on the coast. Have you seen The Cranes Are Flying? Says Wyatt Allison. Not yet. I did buy it, picked it up in the last sale. It is on my short list to get through this year, so hopefully I can check that out. That's been bumped up the short list because there's another movie from the same director coming out in April, like we talked about earlier from Criterion. So that is way up at the top of my short list. I have 3 Hungarian films that I should have got down. I got a box from Second Run. I didn't even talk about that. I got this box here from, make sure my address is not on here. So Second Run, another label I just started collecting from the UK, is a label out there. They put out a lot of Czech films, and I'm gonna do an unboxing on this. But this is my I think I got the trilogy. I got the new trilogy they just put out for the director of EO, which I can't think of right now, and then I got 3 other movies. I got a whole lot. It's going to be a whole video from Second Run, and the reason I brought that up because I have another trilogy of Hungarian films from Second Run that I'm going to try to get through this week. That's the very top of my 2024 shortlist. I want to at least have some experience with Hungarian films before I go watch Santa Tango this weekend and like just jump off the deep end. So hopefully I can watch a couple of those this week before I do that. But that's going to be coming soon in the Second Run video. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to do a whole video about Second Run because I finally started collecting that label as well. So I'm going to do a Eureka video, a Second Run video. Lots of videos coming soon if I can find the time. Gus, I hate when celebrities go to in the Criterion closet and take the DVDs instead of the Blu-rays. LOL. I'm always confused by these people because, like, what do they do with these? Because I know, like, my friends who don't, like, really collect movies, if they go to they'll say, like, Evan, for example, who was in a couple of my Criterion Hall videos, he has a couple movies, but he doesn't really, like, collect movies. So he'll go to the Barnes & Noble with me, he'll pick up a couple things, and then they'll just kind of sit on his... I imagine that's what these celebrities are doing. They're just, like, going home and throwing them on the bookshelf or, like, sitting them on a desk or something. Like, because you don't have shelves, you don't collect movies, so why would you just pick up, like, 4 of... I feel like the celebrities just give them back after the video. Because, like, what are you going to do? Most people don't even have Blu-ray or 4K players these days, so you just have like a couple movies at your house, just I guess just to remember your time at the Criterion closet. I don't know. Some directors and actors collect things, like Guillermo del Toro has an amazing collection, and Edgar Wright has an incredible physical media collection, but I feel like most people don't collect these days. So I always find those videos weird where they just like don't, like you said, they don't care which format, they're just grabbing it just to talk about it, and then they, I guess, go home and throw it on the couch. I don't know what they're doing with it. Let's see. People talking about where they live. Okay, we are wrapping this up. Kevin House, to be or not? I see what you did there, Kevin. I see what you did. I almost fell right into it. I did fall right into it. Didn't even realize it. Shots fired. This is not me. This is not me speaking. This is SC. Nolan is about as deep as a skillet most of the time. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I didn't say it, and I don't have a problem with his level. I just have a problem with like feeling. You know, I already talked about it. You're trying to get me back in the trap again, and I'm not. I won't have it. I'm not going to talk about it. Let's see. People talking about living in people talking about living in PDX. Anyway, we're wrapping it up. We're almost done. We've talked about so much stuff in this video. This video is insanely long. This video is an hour and 40 minutes. Sorry for the lengthy video, but some of you guys like that. And if you do, enjoy the video. If you don't, just spend your time watching any of my other previously uploaded videos, and I will greatly appreciate that. But a lot of people like watching these. I wouldn't say a lot. Some of you guys like watching these on your drive to work. So I'm glad. I hope I could narrate your drive to work, and you enjoyed this video. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Next week, we will be talking about new releases in the next stream, next Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because there's a lot of good things coming out, including that Arrow Conan set that I talked about earlier that I'll be trying to pick up. So hopefully I can do a video for that as well. Too much stuff going on, too much to keep track of, but we'll be back here. The one thing that you can be sure is going to come out and be consistent is our live streams every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I can always do those. I don't have to edit those. I don't have to do anything else. I just have to talk to you guys. So I'll be sure to get those up. I'm going to edit and get out as many other videos as I can. So thank you guys so much for bearing with me. No video was out this last week because I was out of town for my birthday, so it was hard to get a video up, but there will be more videos coming out this week, I promise. Thank you guys for being patient and always watching the videos, commenting, liking, anything you do. It means a lot to me. Thank you guys so much for the birthday wishes. And like I said, we'll be back again with another one real soon. Thanks, guys. Hit the outro.